For the purpose of minute taking, this meeting will be recorded for people in the room to be advised. Welcome everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting for the 22nd of August 2023. We have no applications for attendance via audio visual link. We have the acknowledgement of country from Councillor Douglas.
I'd like to acknowledge the Wanneroo people, the traditional custodians of this land we meet on tonight. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions and the culture of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people across the nation. We have been elected by our community to deliver as our elders of our land have done in the past. I would also like to recognise the strong ongoing connection of First Nations people of the lands and waters where we do our work and their commitment to care for country.
Douglas, the civic prayer, Councillor Dunn.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. We have apologies from Councillor Bowditch, who will not be coming in. Moved by Councillor Mahajan, seconded by Councillor Douglas. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. 5, confirmation of minutes of the previous Ordinary Council meeting held in the 25th of July 2023. We have a motion there that the minutes be taken as read and confirmed as a true record.
Move that way.
Councillor Woodruff and seconded by Councillor Drayton. Brings us to item 6, disclosure. I'll have a vote, please. Show of hands, all those in favour. Unanimous and carried. Which brings us to item 6, disclosure of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests. I'll start with my left.
10.2.3, Mac Energy 138 Roads Act permit. Page 138 on the grounds that I've related to my daughter works for the contract. And 10.3.1 cemetery policy, as I work for the contractor.
Thank you very much, Councillor
Page
Marshall. Anyone else further down the line on the left?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 in planning and environment. Item 10.2.3 on page 138, Mac Energy, section 138 of the Roads Act 1993, permit for routine maintenance, council public roads. I have pecuniary interest, Mr. Mayor, as my employer undertakes work for the applicant. Also in planning and environment, 10.2.4, page 141, easement for electricity purposes, lot 4 DP 1280220 Wybong Road. Again, Mr. Mayor, pecuniary. My employer undertakes work for Mangaul Coal.
Councillor Woodruff? No. Councillor Dunn?
Mr. Mayor, I have an insignificant non-pecuniary interest in 10.1.1, page 9, DO 2023 4820 flat double garage and driveway, as the applicant is a family friend.
Done. Councillor Douglas? Looks like you got a novel.
Yeah, only 2 pages instead of 4 tonight. Item 10.2.1, page 130, 2020-21 0404, Indigenous renaming of Hunter Beach. I have a pecuniary interest that is employed by the local Aboriginal Lands Council. 10.2.2, page 135, Hunter Valley Energy Coal, Mount Arthur Coal, S138 Roads Act 1993, permit for maintenance at Editon Road. I have a pecuniary interest because Mount Arthur provides funding for the LAC that I'm employed by. 10.2.3, page 138, Mac Energy S138 Roads Act 1993, permit for routine maintenance, council public roads. pecuniary interest because they provide funding for the LACs I'm employed by. 10.2.4, page 141, easement for electricity purposes, lot 4, DP 1280220 Wybong Road. I have a pecuniary interest because Mangoola provides funding for the LAC, but also one of my sons works for Mangoola.
No one else? Councillor Lecky, nothing? I have two, which comes under section 1 of the business, 10.1.1, page 9, DA 2023-48. Granny flat double garage driveway, 11 Ogleby Street, Denman as above. It's an insignificant non-pecuniary transparency. I've been innocently approached, and I appreciate that the person, the applicant's here, by the applicant via a message with content that could be unfortunately interpreted wrong by any reasonable person should it be made public. There were no wrong intentions by the applicant, though I will make that declaration. And 10.5.2, community economy, page 369, fee waiver Muswellbrook High School, as my son is in year 12 and undertaking his HSC. So they're out there. Number 7, there is no mayoral minute. We do have public participation. Coming through online.
Coming in online.
What's coming? I see, so.
This is out west. Is there any way we can contact Mr. Walker to organise that? Going to have the public participation before. I'm sure the applicant would like that before the report. Karen, you have contact Mr. Walker or do we?
I could look up the PA.
That's very quick.
Hello, Hugh speaking.
Hello, Hugh. It's Steve Reynolds, Mayor of Muswellbrook Council. We're just up to the business item that you were to speak on in relation to the property. Are you able to join us online?
I'm having some really bad internet connectivity issues, so just can't seem to get any internet at the moment.
We're happy to accept.
We can get.
Okay, the council is happy for you to be via phone. I just have to leave the room and another council. So if you just give me 2 seconds, Councillor Lecky will assume the chair and take control from there. Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Straight on the team. Councillor Lecky, can you please?
Oh, okay, you want me to move? That's hard. Good evening, it's Councillor Lecky. So what would you like to present?
Mr. Walker, we might just advise you have 2 minutes, please. If you'd like more, you can ask the Deputy Mayor to extend your time. And after your discussion, if you wouldn't mind just holding on, please, in case any councillors have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Okay, so good to speak now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, councillors and Lord Mayor. My name is Hugh Walker, Director of Play Design Studio, applicant, the designer for the proposed granny flats and shed at 11 Ogleby Street. I'd just like to provide some few points on the approval of this proposal. Just like to say, I've set the preliminary design to comment the council's planners following the lodgement of the DA. No one discussion was raised about not allowing additional dwellings in Ogleby Street, nor was the master plan intention of allowing no more dwellings mentioned at this stage. The DA was developed and lodged following this with cost for architecture, plans and engineering. The DA took many weeks to progress. We were asked to move the dwelling away from the sewer line. We amended design and engineering to suit this. Once again, at this stage, when more updates, changes and costs were undertaken, no mention of the intent to not allow an additional dwelling in Ogleby Street was discussed. This process seems to be deficient and ineffective, especially if all along no dwellings were to be approved. Why do council planners wait to the last moment to advise this, or drop this bombshell on the client. The site is a village and the proposal is permissible under the Muswellbrook LEP and state government law. The design complies with DCP requirements and LEP requirements. The master plan the council's plans talk about is not part of the current Muswellbrook DCP, it's not part of the Muswellbrook LEP. I've asked several times to be directed to the legal policy of the master plan in relation to no more housing in Oakley Street with no response. Housing has always been part of the Oakley Street built character and community. We're in an increasing housing shortage in this country, and the client is proposing compliant dwelling for additional family members to live in Devon. The LEP in site zoning allows dwellings. If council planners were to dictate or pick and choose what they allow on sites despite this.
Point of order. Yeah, put shit on council staff.
Excuse me, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, that's 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
The councillors have any questions? Any questions?
More a point of order.
Thank you, Councillor Woodruff.
Council staff put up with that bill.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, a point of order that council staff won't be spoken about like that.
Thank you, Councillor Woodruff. Yes, Mr. Walker, Councillor Woodruff made the point that it's not permitted to criticise council staff in that way. Are you happy to take any more questions, Mr. Walker?
Happy to take any questions, yeah.
Councillor Drayton, please.
Yeah, Mr. Walker, you say council staff didn't mention to you during the process about a second dwelling. It appears now you know about a second dwelling. Just told us now. Has there been any consideration now that you do know? I can't really comment on when you were told or when you weren't told, and the details that we're provided either, or should we be? But now you seem to be quite well aware now that they're not happy with the second dwelling. Have you considered any other options on the site now that you're aware that council staff certainly don't support a second dwelling on that site? Has there been any other consideration at all for any changes to what you currently have?
I didn't quite get all.
I'm talking around.
I guess the client, since the beginning of the process, was requiring additional dwelling, granny flat for family members and stuff like that to reside on the site. We also had the intent to have that shed there, so I guess getting another option if it doesn't proceed with granny flat, so perhaps he might proceed with the shed itself as a standalone shed, but he was just really attempting to get that dwelling to provide some accommodation.
Is that address your question?
Thank you for that, Mr. Walker. Are there any other questions, please, councillors? No. Thank you for your time, Mr. Walker. Council will now move on with the meeting, so thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So we have 10.1.1. Granny flat government garage. Denman Street, Denman, sorry, Oakley Street, Denman. Would you like to move the action?
I'd like to move the further
Move what?
to the next ordinary council meeting and an opportunity, which will provide an opportunity for council and the applicant to maybe get together and resolve the issues if that's possible.
We have a seconder. 2 seconds.
Councillor Douglas. Is there any discussion?
Any discussion? Any further discussion?
I don't like that. We are trying to accommodate for them, not to them, and it's a worthy option.
Councillor McNeil, as the mover,
Madam Chair, just that communication wasn't easy for me to hear. It's not ideal. I think he had a reasonable excuse for not being able to connect by video link. There was comments made about, I guess, what I perceived that I did pick up, not the perfect communication between himself and council. So I see I see it's a way forward to defer for that reason.
So that's a motion. Now, do we have a seconder for that motion?
Councillor Douglas is a second
I already seconded the motion.
So all in favour, raise your right hand.
Sorry.
I have to speak to it.
You discussed it.
If anyone else wants to speak to it?
I'll second the motion. I agree with councillor McNeil. I think there needs to be an opportunity for council and that to get together and try and sort of come up with some other form of resolution and perhaps bring it back to the next council meeting. There needs to be an opportunity that for both parties to be satisfied that there has been enough consultation taken.
So is there anyone speaking in opposition? Put it to the vote. All in favour, raise your right hand. Against? I declare it carried.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Well, now,
I'd like to remind Mr Walker, if he speaks again, to mind his tone.
Councillor Woodruff and councillors, yes.
Agree with that.
At no stage, council needs to make.
10.1.2, councillors, preparation of development control plan for 9036 New England Highway, Muswellbrook. There's a resolution that council adopts the draft development control plan chapter for 9036 New England Highway, Muswellbrook. Would anyone, councillor Marshall, anyone to second that motion? Councillor Woodruff. Anyone to speak to the motion or speak for or against?
I'd like to speak against it for the chair at this stage.
Would you like to speak to the motion, councillor Marshall? No. Councillor Woodruff, would you like to speak? Councillor,
Yeah, I just have some concerns. I know it's only a development control plan. I just have some concerns that there's certain aspects I think need to be refined and addressed at this control plan stage, because I'm not fully versed with potentially locking ourselves into some things where I have concerns with regards to location of house on lot sizes and site lot sizes. I know I can't do much about the access to the highway, the sewage and water, and the what will happen with regards to the maintenance of installation of native vegetation along the creek line.
thank you. Does anyone wish to speak? Unless they can come from the.
Yeah, so I'm foreshadowing the deferral.
Foreshadowing deferral.
I'll be happy.
We'll have a,
with it.
councillor Marshall, did you wish to have a response at all to councillor Scholes?
No, I support what councillor Scholes is saying, and want to
So
move
Mr. Mayor,
that.
may I'll put that up as an amendment. If I could then get a second and then we can make the motion.
Moving the original motion, councillor Scholes. Seconded, sorry, by councillor Lecky. Anyone else to speak to the motion for deferral?
I mean, if the mover and the second adopts the amendment, that becomes,
Yeah.
there's no contest.
So, all those in favour? Unanimously carried. There might have been some more discussion. 10.1.3, Flying Fox Camp Policy MSC 045E for adoption. Council adopts the attached Flying Fox Camp Management Policy. I'd like someone to move that. Councillor Douglas.
I have a question, if I may.
Just get a seconder first, if that's.
I'll second
Councillor Skull,
this.
councillor.
The debate.
Question, yes.
It's merely only to address the concerns of the applicants or submissions, just in regard to noise and obviously night shift and where that colony is right along that creek. I just think that nice to have a reply for the submitters.
Let's take that on notice that we'll.
Sorry, Mr Mayor, councillors, what is my reply to them?
That's-
Maybe not, it's like,
Can you speak in the,
Some of
get
them
them
are.
to do sign language rather than squawk?
Look, our long-term goal is to try and get some alternative vegetation growing along the Hunter River that might attract the bats. So recently the ones in Denman have been camping closer to the creek near the sewage treatment plant.
You know why though? Trees.
Yeah. And we've been having discussions with BHP Mount Arthur about the site on the river. If we planted, perhaps the ones here in Muswell Creek might find that more attractive, but I mean, these bats have been coming and going from our landscape for a long time. We don't know how much of this is inherited. You go to Muswellbrook, you camp at the back of,
I love the Shire.
It's a capital.
Just we're happy, councillor Woodruff, just the response from the.
Did you want to provide any additional comment regarding the location of livestock versus where that's maybe restricted trees were planted and the selection of the livestock?
Okay. Councillor Woodruff, are you happy for councillor staff just to respond in that way that you have for other residents?
Mr Mayor, they are noisy and they do invade people's privacy. And it's just that the submitters are shift workers. And obviously, when they're cackling and grunting, either coming home or getting ready to go out on the grog, the bats make a hell of a racket and the stench is pretty good too. So, I mean, part of the problem along there is that we planted shea oaks and it's one of their favourite trees to roost in. Provides them with easy landing and easy takeoff. So we're basically encouraging them by preparing zone planting.
Yeah. I have the same problem out of my place and I'm sure councillor Neil's close to them as well, so.
Just a question, is it such an expert on flying foxes, the grey-headed flying foxes that we talk about, that are the threatened species, are they the ones we see millions of in Aberdeen and the ones that cover the sky, like there's tens of thousands of them, they're the threatened species?
they're
Make
one
sure
of,
they're the right one. Them are the reds.
so Mr Councillor, they're one of the ones that we see, and we see the little red flying foxes. But yeah, it may seem like there's a lot, but they're only located in a small area. They're not.
I would suggest 20 years ago when we had the highway up the valley on the Hunter and across the valley, going across Keith Ridge's place and going straight over the top of my place, the number of flying fox locally has dropped a lot. But there's nowhere near the flying foxes.
Any further questions or clarifications?
How about the shit?
Pretty relocatable at times. So we have a mover and a seconder. Do you have any other further discussion? Can put it to, commit it to a vote. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Unanimous and carried. 10.1.4 Draft Heritage Strategy 23 to 26 for public exhibition. There's a recommendation there that one, council endorses the attached draft Heritage Strategy 23-26 to be placed on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. And two, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during public exhibition period.
So,
Councillor Scholes and seconded by Councillor Lecky. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.1.5 monthly report to council, planning, environment and regulatory services. There's a motion there. The information contained in this report be noted. Someone's moved that. Councillor Marshall, seconded by Councillor Mahajan. Is there any discussion or questions? Anyone to speak to it for it? With that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.1. 10.2.1, 2020-2021 for Indigenous renaming of the Hunter Beach. There's a recommendation there that council, one, notes the recommending the Indigenous name for this area provided by the Wanneroo Local Aboriginal Land Council. Two, supports community consultation on the renaming of the Hunter Beach site to Tarampa, which relates as Red River Gumtree Place. And three, supports initiatives for Wanneroo Local Aboriginal Land Council to investigate and prepare options for an Indigenous artwork mural for the accessible toilet block to be provided to council in a separate report. Moved by Councillor Scholes and seconded by Councillor McNeil. Just want to congratulate staff on finally getting there to that place that we tried to achieve from the Hunter Beach name. Anyone else wishing to speak? Yep. We'll take that as a positive. Thanks, Councillor McNeil. All those in favour? Unanimous and carried. Someone can, actually, I think Kev's still out there. Up for this next one. 10.2.2 Hunter Valley Energy Coal Mount Arthur Road, Mount Arthur Coal S138 Roads Act 1993 permit for maintenance of Edmonton Road. As recommendation, council delegates to the general manager the authority to sign the S138 Roads Act 1993 permit for the ongoing maintenance of the portion of Edmonton Road from the intersection of Denman Road for a length of 6.1 kilometres, known as Stage 1 and Stage 2 in the Edmonton Road realignment deed. Moved by Councillor Lecky, seconded by Councillor Marshall. Any discussion, any questions? With that vote, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.3. Councillor Marshall and Councillor Woodruff to join Councillor Douglas. Fine. 10.2.3 Mac Energy S138 Road 1993 permit for routine maintenance council public roads. This resolution there, the council delegates to the general manager authority to sign the S138 Roads Act 1993 permit for the ongoing maintenance of council public roads as specified in the Mount Pleasant Project Road Maintenance Plan. Councillor Drayton, seconded by Councillor Lecky. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Aye. That unanimous and carried. I think everyone can come back in now.
They got the next one. Next one's Pauline Cook.
Okay. It's Councillor Marshall can come back in. Councillor. 10.2.4 easement for electricity purposes, lot 4 DP 1280-220 Wybong Road. As a recommendation, the council delegates authority to the general manager to sign the plan of easement and 88B instrument to register an easement for electricity and other purposes affecting lot 4 DP 1280-220 under the seal of council and in accordance with regulations. Councillor Scholes, seconded by Councillor Drayton. Any discussion? All those in favour? Aye. That unanimous and carried.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my gosh. 10.2.5, 2023-24 Capital Works Program Roads and Drainage. There's a recommendation that one endorses the attached priority list of work and the undertaking of the 23-24 Capital Works program to limits of approval under approved funding under the various programs. A, footpath renewals as per attachment 1. B, pram ramp renewal as per attachment 2. C, curb and gutter renewals as per attachment 3. D, road resealing as per attachment 4. E, heavy patching as per attachment 6. F, safety devices as per attachment 7. G, car park renewal as per attachment 8 with the priority given to the renewal of pavement within the Muswellbrook Railway Station car park, which is a school bus interchange. 2, endorses the expenditure of the rural road renewal budget on the identified section of road at 7.3 kilometres Martindale Road. 3, notes funding offer from 2023-24 Get New South Wales Active Program for project GRF 612 New Shared Path, Turtle Street, Denman, to construct a new footpath on the southern side of Turtle Street, Denman, Paxton Street to Denman Creek, and resolve that this project be added to the capital program and the budget readjusted to include an allocation of $322,459. And 4, endorses the regional road repair project CH 7.6 kilometres on the Bylong Valley Way to be constructed over the 2 financial years, and that the 2023-24 budget to be adjusted to add the 50,000 allocation for Transport New South Wales repair program. Please tell me no one wants me to reread it.
What was that in the second line?
Councillor Sculls and Councillor Marshall, any questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate staff. Job well done.
Yeah, I didn't hear that first.
Steve? Yes.
Yeah,
Bill, yeah, yes.
just a question, regarding the determination for the capital works to footpaths. I was just wondering how the access to the, Jan, can you help me with the pronunciation of the new beach?
Rimpa.
Is that fair? Is that fair in that, is that considered as part of that project? This was.
I've asked through the general manager.
Thank you, Mr. Bear. Thank you, Councillor McNeil. In relation to that, council have been actively seeking grant funding. We do acknowledge and understand there is a concern around pedestrian access to Hunter Beach, particularly over the highway at the moment. And as we discussed with councillors in the past, we're looking to design the footpath to go along Auckland Street, Aberdeen Street, Keegan Street, and into the Hunter Beach site, because it's a much safer pedestrian pathway. At the moment, though, I'm afraid it isn't funded, no. But certainly we are actively seeking grant funding opportunities. Thank you very much.
Any other clarification or anyone speak to it? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. 10.2.6, 2023-2024 Design and Investigation Program. There's a recommendation the council endorses the attached prioritised list of projects to be funded by the 2023-24 operational budget for investigation and design to the limit of approved funding.
So moved.
Councillor Woodruff, second by Councillor Leckey. Anyone wishing to speak? Commit the vote, commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.7 waste extension consultation outcomes. There's a resolution that council resolves: 1, not to proceed with the extension of waste services to additional rural areas at this time, and 2, to consider carrying out further community consultation should multiple requests for a waste service extension be received. Councillor Douglas, did you?
I was actually happy with the recommendation number 2.
Wish to move the motion? Or yes, Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Sculls. Do you wish to speak?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Again, as Councillor Dunn mentioned in the briefing, I congratulate staff on the effort they put in this particular item or proposal has had several lives. Council officers have put a lot of effort in for a very little response. I think we're at a position now we understand that the need is not there. The need is possibly never really being there, and put this one to bed for a while.
Anyone else wishing to speak to the motion? Against? With the motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.8 water and waste levels of services for financial year 2022-2023 quarter 4. Council notes the information contained in this report. Someone to move that motion? Councillor Woodruff, seconded by Councillor Marshall. Any questions or clarification? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. For that, unanimous, carried. 10.3.1, cemetery policy.
I have a question.
This council would.
Are we still in partnership with the undertakers in relation to who sells plots, or are we holding solely the holder of the plots?
The General Manager.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, councillor Woodruff. I'll ask Mr Lysaght to provide an answer to that, please.
Yes, so, the council is essentially the holder of the land. Council doesn't provide the funeral services. Council certainly maintains the cemetery. But there's a number of service providers that provide funeral services at cemeteries.
I suppose supplementary to look good, Mr Mayor, that so if somebody wants to buy a plot, the only place they can buy that plot is council.
General
Yes.
Manager. Yeah.
Thanks.
Ultimately, yes. It may be referred, but that council is the holder of the.
Well, just again, through you, Mr Mayor, just take the opportunity. A few years ago, we had a disastrous case where the same plot of ground was sold by two people and caused a fair bit of angst in the community. Just want to understand that if council and council officers are the only ones that can distribute that, then that takes away any angst in the community in relation to that sort of thing ever happening again.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and I was unaware of that, and a lot of councils would have been, so thank you, councillor Woodruff. Any other, sorry, do I have someone to move that motion?
Yep.
Councillor Woodruff, seconded by councillor Dunn. Any further discussion or commit that motion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous. Someone let councillor Marsh know, please. 10.3.2, as councillor Marshall makes his way to chair, closed circuit television in public places policy, MSC 036E for adoption. The recommendation, council adopts the closed circuit television in public places policy. Councillor Douglas and councillor Woodruff second. Anyone to speak to it? Any questions? All those in favour, please raise their hand. Declare that unanimous and carried.
1, 2, 3, wait for this.
10.3.3, Henry Dengar Drive, Plane Trees. There's a council recommendation there that resolution 1, managing on a case-by-case basis the matters described in the report. 2, prioritising the renewal of concrete footpath on Henry Dengar Drive between Day Street and Dixon Circuit. And 3, carry out discrete tree removal and replacement if issues cannot be appropriately resolved.
To move an amendment.
You propose an amendment? We foreshadow it, yep.
Just on point 3, carry out discrete tree removal and replacement if issues cannot be appropriately resolved regarding safety issues
Tree preservation.
or tree preservation.
And resolved regarding
Tree preservation.
Tree preservation.
Mr Mayor, do you mind if I suggest a point 4 as well? If it's okay, please?
yeah.
Other than for emergency situations, all requests for tree removal are brought to council for review.
Perfect.
That's to point 4. We got that up there. Yeah.
Any emergency situations or requests?
No.
For tree removal, I submitted to council for approval. Oh, sorry, Katie, just to clarify, that's for all tree matters, please. Point 4.
Technical.
Doesn't show come up on the screen? Yep. So for other than an emergency situation or request or for tree removal are submitted to council. Someone to second.
Cannot be appropriately resolved regarding tree preservation in one week.
Yep. So it's moved by councillor Neil and seconded by councillor Marshall. Anyone else wishing to speak to the issue? With the motion, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Further unanimous and carried. Making sure that the problem is for the- 10.3.4 major project status update. There's a recommendation that the council notes the information contained in the report. Councillor Scholes, councillor McNeil, any discussion? With the motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.1 communications and media policy MSC 048E for adoption. There's a recommendation council adopts the communications and media policy and 2 rescinds the media delegation policy. Councillor Drake.
Happy to move the action. I just have a question if I could. To Mayor, General Manager, as I did raise earlier, and I formally raise them, I have some issues with the understanding of in 2 sections of the policy, one of them being 7.2 councillors, so councillors speaking to the media. The dot point that says must uphold and accurately represent policies and decisions of council. I did raise it earlier about the fact that lots of times when we're approached by the media is when we don't agree with the decision of the council. I'm just concerned that policy might, if a councillor did decide to talk to the media about why they didn't agree with the decision of council, that might then be obviously not comply with the policy. The other issue I had was just above it where it talks of the mayor talking about, I'll get the right words here. It talks about the mayor and his role in speaking to the media. The mayor, including representing the views of council as to its local priorities. Also agree that that's what the mayor does, but I don't agree, and this policy seems to only indicate that's the job of the mayor and the media. I don't agree with that. My view is that the mayor has a much larger role of that, and the mayor's entitled, obviously, to give his own view to the media. At the same time, you might be giving the views of the council as well. I don't see that the mayor there should be any restriction on the mayor as his duties as a mayor as to a councillor has. So we can just get short of holding up the policy. I don't want to do that. But if we can just get a clarification that that is the case, and I'm verbally going to inform if that is the case, that is the expectation, or that is the work the policy has to do, that would be good.
Thank you, Councillor Drayton. And yeah, we did discuss it, but just to formalise it through the general manager. So we're not yet. If I could just add, it's not trying to gaff councillors. Would encourage councillors to do so, but just to reflect that it is made clear that it's your personal view if it's outside council resolution. But the general manager will speak to the policy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and Councillor Drayton. As Councillor Drayton's indicated, we'll provide some clarification in writing to councillors. Thank you for that. You'd be happy with that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't want to hold the policy.
And second,
Board, if I may, maybe it could, subject to clarification, would be moved.
Yeah.
Because that way, once it's clarified, it can move forward. And if it can't be clarified, come back to council.
you're happy with that?
Yeah, that's a much better way to move forward.
Moved by Councillor Drayton, seconded by Councillor Woodruff. Any further discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Just clear that. Corporate services, communication and governance policy, MSC 00E for adoption. Recommendation, the council adopts the governance policy attached as appendix to the report. Councillor McNeil and Councillor Barry, any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Yeah, that unanimously carried. 10.4.3, the procurement policy MSC 01E for additional public exhibition. Council notes that the procurement policy has been placed on public exhibition for an additional 28 days. Councillor Dunn, Councillor Woodruff. Any discussion?
But, yeah, the issues I have with it can be addressed in that 28 days. It doesn't need to be impacted on the motion now because it's going over 28 days ago. I'll formally put my concerns to the general manager. Will go.
So it has been, it's already on public exhibition, just to confirm that. So, yeah. So someone to move. Councillor Marshall. Woodruff, sorry. All those in favour, please commit it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got that fixed.
Well, that's all right.
But then,
10.4.4, draft employment of relatives policy and procedure, MSC 11E for public exhibition. The recommendation that one, council approves the attached draft employment of relatives policy and procedure to be placed on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. And two, further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Mahajan. Discussion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Unanimously carried. 10.4.5, 2023 Christmas Spectacular sponsorship requests. There's a recommendation that council supports the Christmas Spectacular for 2023 as a sponsor with a contribution of $7,500 excluding GST allocated from the sundries donation budget. Councillor Douglas and Councillor Drayton. With half a penny. Anyone speak to it? Commit the motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Clear that. Unanimously carried. 10.4.6, determination of number of councillors for the 24-28 term of council in accordance with section 2242 of the Local Government Act 1993. Council will determine the number of councillors for the 2024-2028 term office to be 12. Someone to move that motion, Councillor Woodruff and Councillor Marshall. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Did I miss something? Sorry. Unanimous and carried. 10.4.7, authorisation under section 226 of the Local Government Act. Council notes the information provided in the report. Councillor Barry, seconded by Councillor Douglas. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimously carried. 10.4.8. Final operating and capital budget carryovers for the 2023-2024. Council notes the final operating and capital carryovers project for 2023-2024. It's moved by Councillor Leckie, seconded by Councillor Skulls. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.9, monthly financial reports for July 2023. Council notes the financial reports for the month ending July 31, 2023. Councillor Leckie, Councillor Mahajan, declared that, I'll commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.10, reports on investments held as at the 31st of July 2023. Council notes council's investment as at the 31st of July 2023. Moved by Councillor Leckie, seconded by Councillor Skulls. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.5, community and economy. The 10.5.1, promotional video of local government area. Council notes the information contained in this report. Councillor McNeil, happy to move that one. Seconded by Councillor Marshall. Do you wish to speak to that motion at all, Councillor McNeil?
Thanks, staff, for the diligence.
Anyone else to speak? Commit that motion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. It's Finally getting there, councillor McNeil.
I don't think that.
Sorry?
You fall over, you.
I just went and
5.2, I have a conflict in that one, so councillor Lackey will have to take the chair.
Somebody like to move the action?
No, councillor Lackey, you have to come and take the chair and wait for me to leave.
Right.
And,
Yeah. Ten point five point two. The B level from Muswellbrook High School. You like to move the action?
Would you like me to read out the?
Would you like the motion read out?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Council approves the fee reduction request from Muswellbrook High School for the use of the Muswellbrook Library seminar room between 11 September 2023, 20 September 2023, 9th of October 23 to 17 October 2023.
Move that action.
So moved, councillor Marshall, second, councillor Douglas.
I put the motion, all in favour of raise their hand, against, declare it carried.
Thank you,
By
Madam
everyone.
Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. 10.5.3, Disability Inclusion Action Plan 2022-2026 is a recommendation the council endorses the Disability Inclusion Action Plan to be placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days. Councillor Barry and Councillor Leckey, anyone speak to it? With that motion, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimously carried. 10.5.4, Community Services. There's a resolution there for the information contained in this report to be noted. Councillor Marshall and Councillor
No, I'd just
Douglas. Yes.
like to commend the staff for all the work that they're doing in the community section.
Thank you very much, Councillor Douglas, and the General Manager will pass that on.
Thank you very much.
Any other people to speak? With that motion, all those in favour, please raise your hand. That unanimous and carried. 10.5.5, reports on council grant funding and community engagement. There's a recommendation that 1, notes the information contained in this report. 2, approves council of applying for funding for the new gym equipment at the Aquatic Centre under the Club Grants Category 3 Infrastructure Grants Program. And 3, approves the current balance of local roads and community infrastructure funding remaining of $216,410 and $50 to be allocated to the Denman Children Centre Extension Project. Councillor Douglas and Councillor Marshall. Anyone wishing to speak to? Anyone wishing to speak? Any discussion?
I'd just like to thank staff again for the presentation.
Doing a great job for staff, thank you. With that motion, all those in favour, please raise a hand.
Aye.
That unanimous and carried. We've got 11, the minutes of the committee meetings, 11.1, Event Steering Committee held on the 8th of August 2023, but the minutes for the Event Steering Committee meeting held on the 8th of August 2023 be noted. Councillor Douglas and Councillor Drayton, discussion. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 12.1, we have a motion there from Councillor Drayton, which amendments to the state planning policy. Councillor Drayton has indicated an intention to move the following motion at the 22 August 2023 Ordinary Council meeting as follows. I'll go through the motion and then let Councillor Drayton speak to it. 1, that council prepares an advocacy strategy and program requesting the New South Wales government undertake a review of the social considerations in part 2.3 of the State Environmental Planning Policy Resources and Energy 2021 in consultation with council together with other key stakeholders. 2, that pending the review, it is council's position for all new development application and modifications for mining development in the Shire, that agreement be reached between the applicant and council as to an appropriate percentage, minimum of 25% of new mine workers required to have a permanent residence in the Muswellbrook local government area. Councillor Drayton.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The motion's arisen from some discussion that the council would have been having there for quite some time. It arose, I guess, initially some time ago when our census results come out that showed between 2016 and 2021, our LGA grew by approximately 350 people. If you're way out west somewhere, that wouldn't be so extraordinary. But when you're in, I guess people view certainly the Upper Hunter or the Hunter Valley, and particularly Muswellbrook. When you talk about Muswellbrook, you think about jobs, you think about coal mines, talk about industry and jobs. Of course, there is, which we know there's a big turnover each year in the mining industry. So you would think that Muswellbrook would have, logically, you would think, geez, we're going to have a good population growth in that census period. We've had a new mine open. We've had the expansion of all other mines in our LGA, all expand in numbers as far as employment numbers. Yet the LGA hasn't benefited. In real terms, we probably haven't benefited at all. Our numbers haven't gone up at all. There's a little bit of change in density in social housing. So really our real numbers. So effectively, we haven't picked up the people who come to our area to work in the mines just after deciding not to live in Muswellbrook. In fact, some that we are picking up are just really replacing the ones that leave. I think that's critical for the area. Of course, it's really difficult to grow. You know, we have a regional hospital that we've just had millions and millions of dollars, and we hope there's millions of dollars still there to put into that hospital. We have a regional library, and we have lots of, you know, I guess in this area, we are the regional area. That's why, you know, governments, state and federal, have credited us with that. It's obviously hard to be a regional area, or continue to be a regional area if you're not in an area that's just not growing. I won't use the words that I've used probably in council meetings, but effectively wouldn't say we're dying, but we're close to it. You know, we're crawling up the proverbial ourselves, and we're just not growing. As I say, there is a big turnover in the industry. I want to make a couple of things clear. That the view of the motion is that it would only be new employees. So there is a big turnover in the minds of employees each year. There would be new employees. Now, this isn't anything new to the industry, to the mining industry. You can get on tonight when you go home and search up some jobs you have out of Mudgee, and you get to go through and agree to, effectively, you'll look at a nice little video of Mudgee, of that Midwest area, but Mudgee itself. And if you don't click on the link to look at the video of Mudgee, you can't even proceed with the application. So effectively, they're telling you that's where you've got to live. It's not new. It's been going on in Queensland from the same mining companies we have in our LGA. It's been going on in Queensland for quite some time. So if you don't live in this area, if you haven't got this postcode, we won't even consider you for a job. We need to do the same. We absolutely have to do the same. So our community is dying. There is, I understand, been some discussion, certainly within the community and with members of the community, with myself, in regards to, you know, we can make people live, or can you force people to live there? This would only apply to new employees. So we can't say to an employee now who lives at you know, down in Maitland that you have to now relocate up here. It's new employees. So the proviso, when you apply for a job within our LGA, so the mine within our LGA, this is where you need to live. Now, of course, a lot of work needs to be done before that. We know all the issues we've got around housing and all that sort of stuff. But first of all, we need to make sure that this is in the development application of mine. When a mine makes a development application, we need to make sure that this is in there. We need to start talking to mining companies, but first of all, we need to make sure that, you know, we change, as the first part of that motion says, we need to change the set and effectively make it the law, make it the law for the mines. That's the only way I can see at the moment it's growing. But we really need to grow the town. The town did grow, it had good growth from about 2010 to 14, some 5.5% above the state average. We're now well and truly below half of what the state average is. As I say, it's an astonishing result considering the first thing people from outside the area think of is jobs. So I think, as I say, I think it's a really important motion. I think we really, and I don't think there's any disagreement with councillors that, you know, that's what we need to do to the area. I think general consensus that that's what we need to do. But as I say, there is some in some consents. There is some my words, some soft words about where you should live. I think, you know, within 80 kilometres. And the mines have complied with that, because what they've done, the mines around here, the new mines and the expanding mines have complied with the 80-kilometre range. We've just filled up Hunt Lee. So certainly they've done what they wanted to do. The problem is, us filling up Hunt Lee, with people who work in the mines here doesn't do this LGA much good. We haven't got people living here and spending their dollars here. When ultimately it's about people living here and engaged in the community, engaged in our charity clubs, engaged in our kids' sport, and engaged, well, truly engaged in the community. So I certainly welcome any comments from councillors, and in the same breath encourage councillors to support it, and let's see if we can get on and make this happen as soon as we can.
I just I haven't had the opportunity to speak to you about it. Probably should have, but it was. Would you be obliging if it was to save mining and energy? So as we are talking power station employees, new industry coming for the area of being renewables. So it covers it, everything.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. The reason it started with mining, of course, is because I understand development applications in the mines. I understand how they can go in. I understand it is all awful. No, I think it's a great idea, because I think moving forward, of course, and council, we all agree that we need to move forward with renewables. And I think my view is, we've got a big industry, whether it's here now, whether it's coming here, they should be supporting our LGA. It's, as I say, it's probably going to be a bit distasteful for some, but I think it needs to happen.
So are you happy for
the amendment to go in? Yes.
The other question I've just been, will it be council's policy that we object to a mine or a mine modification if they decline to reach agreement?
Yes, my view is that council will have a policy that will be included in any new development. In any new development consents, that will be part of the consent. Yes.
We have to deal with the state government.
Yes, that obviously that's what.
Yeah.
Number one in the motion does.
So yes.
Yes.
So with that amendment, councillor.
I could second it, but I actually have an amendment as well. This is a scary amendment. I used to second it, okay.
Yes.
But I also have an amendment. And everyone, don't panic. Broad Skull says, Broad Skull says, minimum of 25% of new mine workers are required to have a permanent residence. Can I have the word "are" included, please?
Jeez. Anyone else want to criticise or actually?
Wow. The word "are" taken back out.
Sorry, if I could just make one further clarification. Of course, it can be done down the track, but when I say mine workers here, I'm referring to all mine workers. I'm referring to someone who is a permanent mining and energy, and someone who is a permanent contractor at a mine with a full-time employee being employed is also included. So I'm talking about all permanent mine workers. Mine workers.
There's purpose in it.
But when I say mine workers, that's the definition of mine work. We can sort that out, but I just want to be clear about it.
Switch it around. Workers employed.
So.
Workers employed in the mine.
Okay, let's just get this so it's tabled right. That's
Sorry.
2, Pet. Yes, councillor Sculls.
But we can just have a definition of mine workers. Mine workers means all permanent.
Workers employed.
Workers, just change the word.
Okay. So we've got a mover and a seconder. Do you wish to speak?
I'll move another amendment.
Okay.
I'd like to move an amendment to the next council meeting, so we can get all this sorted, all wording, all everything else.
They move a deferral.
A deferral, it's all.
So that's foreshadowed. So we've got a motion in place at the moment for, and I just want to make it clear, councillor.
I think the only change needs to be apart from the word "are." It needs to be mine workers and fish workers.
Just take back the word.
So we're happy with the clarification of that. We've got a mover and a seconder. Did we want to add that as a third dot point? Did you want that in there or?
Mr. Mayor, councillors, I will accept this motion as being already to say we object. Making some.
Yes.
Yes.
In this case, if it's okay, could we please include it so it provides the documentary
Yeah,
clarification?
that's true.
Okay.
That's okay.
If that's the advice from staff, I'm happy to accept it.
As a point three.
So point three, it will be council's policy that we object to a mine or mine modification if they decline to reach agreement on the above.
What about renewable energy?
Absolutely.
That's, oh, yeah, mining, okay, sorry. It will be council's policy that we object to a mine energy or mine and energy modification if they decline to reach this agreement of the above.
Modification or application, we may get a new one.
Yeah.
That's why I said, yeah, mine, and yeah, that's what I read. So, you happy with that amendment?
Yes,
I'm happy with that.
absolutely.
Any further discussion?
Councillor Marshall put up a thing.
Yeah, we've got to put, no, we've got to move this, we've got to commit this motion first. This is the motion, and it falls back to councillor Marshall's. So, all those in favour of the motion that just been put forward with the amendment 3? Declare that motion carried. Yeah, you want to note that you're against it, councillor Marshall? Yes, no problem. Okay. 14, the nil written questions. 15, questions for the next meeting.
Have a councillor report.
We have any questions for the next meeting? Councillor report? No, we're good. Hang on, no, where is that?
13.
Straight after motions is
Hang on 2 seconds. Sorry. It was under councillor. Council reports. Council reports, anyone? Councillor Lecky.
I'm standing up. I'm very excited that I've been nominated as a woman in council for the next LGA meeting. I really appreciate it. It has happened to me before while I was in council. I've now been on council for 22 years and it was unbelievable to me that I've been nominated. So that's really good.
That was nominated through.
The Women Council of the Local Government Association.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Any other reports going around the room? Go display it first, if that's all right, because councillor Dunn, did you have something?
Yeah, no, I can't find it.
Okay, we'll go to councillor Woodruff first.
Yeah, thank you.
yes, Mr Mayor, very fortunate to enjoy the company of a few other Denman residents in National Tree Planting Day. I think I couldn't find one single tomato, and I let Stumpy know that I wasn't happy. We planted all this grass and stuff, but I think we put 400 in the ground. Small but dedicated crew, and a fair bit of staff involvement in that too. So yeah, it was a great day.
Any other councillors? I'll go. I had the pleasure of going along to the Country Mayors Association and representing the council on their view in relation to the doctor service that we have actually supported and funded. I put forward ours as our joint council and recommended that all councillors from country New South Wales get involved with that service. Was not met with any opposition at all. It was a fantastic meeting. Then I had a meeting after that with the Coalition of Renewable Energy Mayors with the planning director, Sharon Pope, who represented Muswellbrook Council very well and has had a lot of dealing with them. We made it very clear there has been a delay from the Western Arana through Energy Code about our position on our back roads with relation to the traversing of the wind turbines, the blades to get west. That Muswellbrook, and they've identified it, there was a lack of planning and strategy. It is going to take pretty much a new bridge over Muswellbrook. They agreed, and I'm not going to be if I'm not misquoted, though, they said it's going to cost tens of millions of dollars just for our Shire alone in relation to the bypasses that are required for 10 truck movements per night for 100 for 10 years. So that on a safety, that's at night time on a safety issue for our community. We're going to fight very hard. Unfortunately for us, we are, as I've explained in councillors, this is more public now. We don't fall within. It's the typical thing for poor old Muswellbrook. We don't fall within these certain categories. The Western Arana Energy Zone, New England energy zone, and we're stuck in the middle with regards to everything that's happening. They can't get through Muswellbrook, but those energy zones have the option of having a $250,000 grant for employees to assist with getting applications processed. And as you know, our resources are very strained at the moment with the planning department and with the pinch of the state significant developments that come through our organisation, that we have to drop mum and dad developers, DAs pretty much, and move on with these. We lobbied and put forward a submission that we would like, and Mike from Arana was more than welcome when we put it forward. We're not in the zones, but we will be seeking special approval to be able to seek that $250,000 to assist us put on 2 staff members. It's $250,000 over 3 years. So, yeah, that's my report, but it's mainly, like I said, it is about not stopping, but it's the safety of our residents, the safety of road users, and so it doesn't cost our Shire extra money on repairing roads and infrastructure. Could you imagine if a turbine blade took out Denman Bridge? So.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a report. Last Friday, I represented the Mayor with the General Manager of the 50th anniversary of the withdrawal of our troops out of Vietnam. Again, it's my 3rd year in a row I've been lucky enough to attend this particular function. Again, it was highly emotional. The Vietnamese contingent that comes up from Sydney was about 10 or 12 strong yet again. The weather was interesting. If you didn't sit on a chair, you didn't have a chair. It was 10 minutes over there. But again, I also remind everyone, don't get forget anymore. It's 50 years ago. It scarred, hurt, defined a lot of people.
I'll just pass on my thanks for myself for you attending on my behalf, because, as you know, it was not a good day for, and I wasn't.
And you gave me about an hour's notice. That's all right. That's all right. No, I enjoy it. Now, I will put my hand up to attend that until the council.
No, thank you very much.
I'll drop off the planet.
Councillor Dunn.
Now, sorry. Could we conduct a campaign to increase pool compliance, please?
This is a question for the next meeting. Will that one be?
Yes.
Okay, so is there a report? Because I can go to councils, after council reports, we go to questions for the next meeting.
Oh, sorry, that's what I thought you were up to. Sorry.
Any reports?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like to report that Councillor Marshall and myself attended the 500 Weeks Authority meeting, and there was a motion passed to write to the Agricultural Minister to attempt to secure funding for the Weeks Authority. The funding which is already may be in jeopardy is grant funding. There's been ongoing grant funding since early 1960s, and it's critical in maintaining biosecurity of our LGA.
Thank you, Councillor McNeil. Others? No? Okay, thank you for those. Now we move on to, sorry, I've just got to get past that one, to the written questions. Neil, questions for the next meeting. Councillor Dunn.
Sorry. Again, are we able to conduct a campaign to increase pool compliance, please? There were 70 inspections in a 12-month period and 62 pools had to be re-inspected. That is an alarming number of pools that did not meet the safety standard, and only 28% are compliant. It just really worries me. And I know the reason previously why we haven't had the funding there, but if we could do something, please.
I could ask the General Manager that. That should just be a straight out, yes, we need to do more, especially around safety with kids and water, but through the General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Councillor Dunn. We'll look into this and provide a response, please, councillors. Thanks very much. We appreciate the points you're making, so thank you.
Right, Louise, comment?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Just obviously someone who personally can say, because mine was one of the ones that wasn't compliant, the changes of the policies. I guess as a pool owner, it is our responsibility when there is changes that we're not aware of. I can guarantee you most of those others that failed as well would have been as blindsided as I was to the new changes. So if we're going to do a campaign, can I suggest that we can send something out to pool owners of any of the changes to policies in our area with our pools, please?
So running a pretty much social media and media campaign around the changes to the pool policy, I totally agree. Yeah.
Some of it can be just the wrong sign, the old sign, to a new sign.
Any other questions with notice for the next meeting? No. Which brings us to adjournment into closed council. Do I have someone to move? Councillor DeGioia and Councillor Marshall. Which moves, all those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried, moves us into the closed council. We'll be back right after this break. Back into recording. Just remember that anything said is now is being recorded for communicating purposes and public record. In relation to the closed council item 17.1, the contract 2022-2023-0546 Muswellbrook Indoor Sports and Youth Centre Principal Design Consultant, Council Awards Mode Design Corporation Proprietary Limited Contract 2022-2023-0546 for Principal Design Consultant for the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports and Youth Centre. 7.2, sorry, that was moved unanimously. 17.2, 2020-2021 0448 Donald Horn Building Variation Summary and Financial Closeout. Council resolved unanimously to continue to negotiate with the contractor. 2, if the negotiations are unsuccessful, council pursues its claim to the full extent of its contractual entitlement. And 3, authorises the general manager to negotiate a deed of settlement and release. Was voted upon unanimously. 17.3, contract 2019-2020 0406 Muswellbrook Aquatic Centre offer financial closeout. Council voted unanimously to 1, rejects the revised offer provided by the contractor. 2, approves pursuing council's entitlement by claiming the completion undertakings as detailed in the report. And 3, authorise the general manager to negotiate a revised final deed of settlement and release. 17.4, it was resolved that 17.4, which was purchase of Denman property. 1, council purchases the property identified in the report. 2, classifies the property as an operational land. And 3, general manager be authorised to execute the contract, which brings us to the close of the council meeting now at 7:33. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, everyone, media staff, for attending. Thank you very much.